Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring artists you should know about. Today we're heading to Ohio to chat with singer-songwriter Tim Tye from Midnight Sky. Tim's based out of Dayton, Ohio. He spent 45 years as a lawyer, and in 2009 made the decision to rededicate himself to his musical endeavors. His third album, Last Hope for the Modern World, came out last year, and he recently released a brand new single called 442. We're excited to have Tim Tye from Midnight Sky on the show. First, Tim, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
45 years as a lawyer. So what happens in 2009? Were you tired of it? What to go back to music?
I haven't necessarily given up my day job completely because I like to have a roof over my head and food to eat.
Yeah.
So some of the PR stuff out there, I think, wrongly suggests that I completely, gave up the practice of law. I'm still doing some work, but I guess I adjusted my priorities.
Yeah, because we're not getting rich being an independent music artist out there.
I know.
That's for sure. Oh, well, there's one funny line on your bio. It says, in 2017, you became single. Discovering the ups and downs of love has provided creative inspiration for your music.
Yeah, well, someone else wrote that, but...
So how's our love life now? Do we have a significant other?
Yeah, I'm seeing somebody right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't written a song for her, so...
You haven't turned into Taylor Swift yet and writing all your songs about your exes?
Well, there's some of those out there, but yeah, so far I haven't been inspired.
That's good. Well, 3 albums. I mean, it's been coming out of you. I mean, was the music? Have you been writing your whole life? Is this all new material? What's happened?
Yeah, I've been writing since I was a teenager. Like a lot of aspiring writers, I started out by doing parodies because I wasn't comfortable with the music, but the lyrics were, they were easier. And then at some point, I thought I'm gonna write the music too. The first album, which is called Dark Stretch of Road, we started in 2009, and I had a whole list of songs that I was going to record. But once I got going on the project, I started writing a lot, and so at least half the songs on that album were written while the album was being produced.
Oh, wow. So you were going at it right when you were doing it. So it was all pretty much new material. Yeah, Dark Stretch of the Road. And then the second one, A Few You Good Years, came out in 2019. And then COVID struck. What were you thinking then?
Well, getting back into the studio and recording in a conventional way was impossible for a while. So I started doing a lot of stuff remotely. You'd have musicians, and most musicians have some kind of recording capability in their homes, and a lot of times it's very high quality recording capability. So we'd sketch out what we wanted to do. I'd do a scratch version of the song. Typically, it's just me and the guitar, and we put the drum tracks on. And once we were happy with those, we'd go to the bass tracks and so on and so forth. And then, the engineer would knit everything together, and it was really a pretty efficient way to do it.
Yeah. I listened to some of the first 2 albums. I mean, from Dark Stretch of the Road to Last Hope of the Modern World, what do you think has changed?
In the world or with me personally?
No, in your sound.
Well, I think the technical quality on all the albums is first rate.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to think that I've matured as a songwriter. Not all of us can be Taylor Swift and be fully mature at 21, be able to write that quantity of songs. But you go through life, and I'll get asked in interviews like, well, which which songs are inspired by real events or real people, and I'm typically a little bit vague about that. But the reality is that every single thing that happens to any artist or creative person in life affects what they create going forward.
Oh yeah.
So the older you get, the more experiences you have, good and bad. And as we talked about, I had a very long-term relationship that ended, and it ended amicably, but nevertheless, it ended. And then I got the opportunity to date, and that gave me a whole bunch of inspiration, good and bad. Most of the bad stuff doesn't end up on the album, but I try. I don't want to appear to be vindictive, because I'm not.
Yeah, but some of it probably rears its ugly head once in a while. Go check him out. He's at midnightskymusic.com. He's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube. Check out his stuff. His latest single, 442, you're going to hear in a minute, is also out now. Because I'm listening to this stuff, Dark Stretch of the Road, the title track off the first one, you sing that, you sing on 442, and then I'm listening to other songs, and I'm like, this isn't Tim. Who's the other vocalist?
The male vocalist, I sing 3 songs on Last Hope, and actually, Dark Stretch is not me.
Oh, okay.
And 442 is not me.
Oh, wow.
Those are some guys in Dayton, and I got guys from different bands, and we got together, and they did the vocals.
Oh, okay. So which songs are you singing on the new one?
I'm on The Other Side. I'm on Back Where You Belong, and then Way Out West.
Way Out West. Okay, I was going to say that's probably you.
That's a duet with the woman. We put that together. And interestingly, her vocal was recorded at a completely different place and time from mine, but we synced them up, and I think it worked.
Yeah, no, it works for sure. So is it the same female voice?
No, I've used a lot of different women over the years in these projects, and the majority of the female vocals are done by 2 women, each named Nicole.
Well, there you go.
Like old Nicole and new Nicole. They both have fabulous voices. They have different qualities to them, but just great pitch, great delivery, and I count on them to do to create the vocal parts.
Yeah.
So, I've been lucky. I've been lucky to get that level of talent.
Yeah, no, you got some good ones, that's for sure. When you listen to the album, Last Hope for the Modern World, I was like, wow, this album is all over the place. I mean, they say you're Americana or country. I don't think they know where to put you, Tim. That's the problem. Every song is completely different.
Yeah, it's eclectic.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't. When I sit down to write a song, I don't think, well, today it's going to be country.
Yeah.
I sit down and I just, you just see where the music takes you at that moment. And sometimes you get a country song, sometimes you get a rock song. There's a song on the new album called 12th Street Serenade, which sort of has a Spanish thing going on. We got a flamenco guitarist, and it's kind of different from all the other songs.
Yeah, well, every now and then has horns on it. I'm like, it's crazy. You mentioned the production. Who's the producer? Because you play guitar. Is the producer doing everything else? Who's doing the music?
Well, we've got drummers. I got a drummer in Dayton, got a drummer in Florida. Every track has different personnel to some extent, but I've got this, sort of coterie of great musicians, and
nice.
depending on what sound we're going for, we choose. It's kind of like the old Mission Impossible show where that Jim Phelps is going through the photographs. Of course, he always picked the same people because they were the stars of the show. But you kind of do the same thing where you go, okay, I think that, she's got the right vocal sound, and this guy, I love the way he plays his style of guitar, and I try to on each track maybe use an instrument that I haven't used much, like the other side we put a harmonica on there, and there's a kind of a barn dance, line dance thing called Ain't Nothing Better, and we put an accordion and a fiddle on that to kind of give it a Cajun flavor.
Yeah, it's all over the place. It is eclectic for sure. Last Hope for the Modern World. Go and listen to the album anywhere you stream music. Go look up Tim Tye and Midnight Sky and you'll find him. But yeah, it's just, I was like, every song is a different feel. It's great. But the new one, 442, this thing you knocked out of the park, Tim. You mentioned you were watching the Beach Boys. You got inspired by it. Did you have a 442? Was this your dream car? What? Tell us.
No, I was trying to think of a car that I hadn't heard a song about. And actually, after I wrote the song, I found out Blondie has a song called, I think it's called Detroit 442, but it's not a Beach Boy sort of surf style song. But you're thinking about the songs that, Hey Little Cobra, and all the stuff that the Beach Boys sung about, Corvettes, and I just thought, okay, 442. I had a buddy in high school that had one. It was a classic car, and there you go.
There you go. The Oldsmobile 442 is what it is. It's an old muscle car. Were you looking at the car when you wrote the song? Because the lyrics, you couldn't have done any better, Tim.
I did some research.
Yeah.
Like most cars in that era, most muscle cars, there were a lot of different versions. And for example, I wanted to find out what was the biggest engine you could get in one. Well, it's a 455, and that shows up in the first verse. And I realized that you could get the horsepower up to around 500. So we talked about a 500 horsepower time machine, and so that's where I already knew about Holley carburetors and putting a racing cam in. So we tried to get somewhat specific. So a true 442 lover would go, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, for sure.
I looked.
Oh, go ahead.
I looked at the color schemes for that year and those years, and one of them was called Sebring Yellow. That sounded like a good song lyric, so I made the car yellow.
Yeah, when you listen to this song, the specifics about the vehicle, it's just amazing what you've done with this, with the lyrics. It's awesome. And the classic car culture, you should be playing this song at like every car show. Yeah,
one of the things I have done, I don't know, whether it's gotten any traction, but there are a number of 442 groups on Facebook.
There you go.
So I joined those, and then post the song, and you can see it gets quite a few listens and some few positive comments. Whether it's going to go anywhere from there, you never know.
Yeah, you never know what happens. Go and check it out. Go check out Tim. He's at midnightskymusic.com. He's on Facebook, Instagram. Go to YouTube. He's got a video for 442, a lyric video out there that's you can check out the car and everything on there. That's the latest single. This is a different single. It's not on the album. So what's going on? What's coming up?
I don't know. Yeah, I think every time I've issued an album, I've said, okay, this is it. I'm done. But then I come up with a song, and I think I'd really like to produce this. I want to see how this sounds with all the instruments and vocals. And eventually I had 11 more songs I wanted to use, and that was a few good years. And I think the new one's got 13 songs on it. And once you've got everything recorded, packaging and releasing is is very small cost by comparison.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Most of the money is already sunk. Might as well take it to its logical conclusion.
Well, exactly. Yeah, you might as well put it all out. That's for sure. 442 is out. A couple of them that I enjoyed listening to when I was researching you. Misery Dues off the first album. The guitar solo on that song is just incredible.
Yeah, that's not me. That's a local guy here who came in and did it, and it was funny because I said to him, John, I think I hear a slide on this. He goes, I really am not that good on a slide. And I said, well, why don't you try it? I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, no, he completely crushes it. Misery Dues off the first album. Go and check that out. It's off Dark Stretch of the Road. And then off the A Few Good Years, that Epitaph in G, the final track. I don't know. It touched me. I don't know what you were thinking when you wrote that thing.
Well, you get to be a little bit older, and you start to think more acutely of your own mortality.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come up with something that looked at it pragmatically, not as a sad event. And I'm trying to encourage the people I left behind. Don't waste a lot of time, grieving about me. Just, you've still got life left. Go live it. I'm fine.
Yeah. Go check out his previous stuff. It's all incredible. Midnight Sky, the new album, or the recent album, Last Hope for the Modern World, is also out now. You go to Spotify, listen to all of his stuff, and 442 is also out now. Go to YouTube, watch the lyric video for that. Well, Tim, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, here's 442. It's Midnight Sky. It's KIX 96.5.